I will start this question by expressing 20, 30, and 45 as the products of prime numbers. So for 20, I can divide by 2, gives me 10, divide by 2, a 5 gives me 1. So 20 is equal to 2 squared times 5 to the power of 1. I will repeat for 30 and 45. Now the lowest common multiple includes all the prime factors to their highest powers. So I'm going to include a 2 to the power of 2. I'm going to include a 3 to the power of 2 and a 5 to the power of 1. You can take this from any number you want. So the lowest common multiple is 2 squared times 3 squared times 5 to the power of 1, which will be 180. In question 2, I've got an arithmetic sequence with first term a, which is equal to 2, and the common difference d, which is equal to 7 because the terms increase by 7. Now the general formula for the nth term is the following. And if I substitute the values of a and d, I will get 2 plus n minus 1 times 7. And if I simplify this one, it's going to be 2 plus 7n minus 7, which further simplifies to 7n minus 5. In this question, I will use the formula for the density. And density is equal to mass over volume. If you don't remember this formula, you can figure this out from the units of density. This is grams over cm cubed. Grams are the units of mass, cm cubed are the units of volume. Now, to find the volume, I will need to find the cross-sectional area, and the cross-section is a trapezium. And I will multiply this by the length of the prism, which is equal to 6. So let's start by finding the area of the trapezium. This is base 1, which is 14, plus base 2, which is 10, times the height, 9 over 2. And this will give me 108. And then to find the volume, I will multiply this 108 by the length, which is 6. It will give me 648. And then I will rearrange this formula. Mass equals to density times volume. So it's 0.7 times the volume I found. And the final answer will be 453.6. And these are grams. In part A, since you have multiplication, then you should add the two powers. So the answer will be p to the power of 9. And the second one, I have a power to a new power. So I multiply the two powers. So it's going to be m to the power of minus 12. Part C, anything to the power of 0 is always 1. In part D, the cube root of something is that something to the power of 1 over 3. And then in the last part, I will solve by first expanding. So 5x plus 35 is 2x minus 10. I will collect like terms. I'm going to take the 2x to the left, the 35 to the right. So 3x equals minus 45. So x is minus 45 over 3, which is minus 15. In question 5, I'll start by working out the cost of 20 grams originally, which is 2012. So if cost of 5 grams is equal to 14,000, then the cost of 20 grams, well, this is just 14,000 times 4, which is 56,000. Now, since I have a decrease of 7.5%, it means that my multiplying factor will be 100 minus 7.5 over 100, which is 0.925. And if I multiply my original value by this multiplying factor, I will get 51,800, which is the new price. In part A of this question, I'll just shift triangle A 5 units to the right and 2 units up, and the image is the blue triangle. Now for part B, a tracing paper might be useful. You can see that going from A to B is a rotation of 90 degrees anticlockwise, but tracing paper might be useful to locate the center of rotation. In this case, the center is at the point -3, 0. So a full description would look like this. Now, since the mean of these 4 numbers is 15, then A plus B plus C plus D over 4 must be equal to 15. So A plus B plus C plus D must be equal to 60. Now the sum of A and BC is 39, so A and BC must be 39, and then plus D is equal to 60. So D is 60 minus 39, which is 21. For part B, the range of A and B, C, and D is equal to 10, and I know that the range is equal to the largest minus the smallest, so 10 equals 21 minus A, which will leave me a value of A to be 11. Now, again, A plus B plus C is 39. I found A to be 11, so this means that B plus C is equal to 28, and the median, since I've got an even number of terms, it's the average of the middle two, so that's the second plus the third over 2. The second and the third are B and C, so this will be 28 over 2, which will give me 14. Now for this question, since I've got a 2% year compound interest, it means that the multiplying factor is 102 over 100, which is 1.02. And then to find the final value, I will take the original one, which is 40,000, multiplied by this multiplying factor to the power of 3, because it's 3 years. And this will give me directly the answer, which is 42,448.32. In question 9, you can solve the simultaneous equations either by elimination or by substitution. I will proceed with elimination, and again you have the option to eliminate x or y. I will eliminate y. To do so, I'll multiply the first equation by 2. I'm going to keep the second one the same. So I will have 6x plus 2y equals 26. I'm keeping the second one the same. And in order for the y's to cancel out, I will add the 2 equations. So I've got 7x equals to 35. So x is 35 over 7, which is equal to 5. And then to find y, I can use any equation. I'll use this equation. So 5 minus 2y is equal to 9. So minus 2y is equal to 4. Y comes out to be minus 2. So x is 5, y is equal to minus 2. In question 10, I'll start from the left-hand side, convert both fractions to improper ones. Then I will flip the second fraction. Now I can cancel out the 3 with the 9, and I can also cancel out the 32 with the 14. This will leave me 7 and 16, and when I multiply out, I will get 21 over 16, which I can convert into a mixed fraction again, which is equal to the right hand side. In this question, I will use the following formula. Since I have a hexagon, then n is equal to 6. So the sum is equal to 6 minus 2 times 180. And this will give me 720. So 2y plus 86 plus 123 plus 140 plus 105 must be equal to 720. So 2y is equal to 266, which leaves a value of y of 133 degrees. In question 12, the cumulative frequency column starts with an 8, then I have 8 and 17, which is 25. Then I've got the sum of the first three numbers, which is equal to 50, then the sum of the 4, and so on. I've got a 90, 112, and then 120. Now, when I plot these points on the next page to create the cumulative frequency graph, I will plot the upper bounds as the x-coordinate and the cumulative frequency as the y-coordinate. Remember, everything has to start with 0. So that is how my graph will look like. And part C, I need to find the median. Now, n is equal to 120. So n over 2 is equal to 60. So I'm trying to find the 60th value. So from the y-axis, I'm gonna trace 60 all the way to the line and then down. So from my graph, I get a value of about 33. For question 13, I'll start by taking c to the left. So p minus c is a half of ab squared. Now I want to get rid of the 1 over 2, so I'll multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times p minus c is equal to ab squared. Next step is to divide by a. So 2 p minus c over a is equal to b squared. And finally, b is equal to the square root of the other side. Note that since b is positive, I am only keeping the positive square root, so I don't have a plus or minus. In question 14, we're given the line y is equal to 2x on the graph. I need to draw the line 4x plus 3y equals to 12. To do so, I'll find the two intercepts, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and then join them with a straight line. So when x is equal to 0, I've got 3y equals 12, so y is equal to 4. So 0, 4 is my y-intercept. And when y is equal to 0, I've got 4x equals 12, so x is equal to 3, so 3, 0 is my x-intercept. So let's put the points and join them to draw the line. For part B, I need to shade the region defined by all four inequalities. I first need to draw the last two lines, y is equal to minus 3 and x equals to 4. Y equals to minus 3 is a horizontal line passing through minus 3, and x equals 4 is a vertical line passing through x equals 4. Now, regarding the shading, for these three, it's pretty much obvious. For the first one, it's the region below the line because y is less than or equal to the other side. For the third one, y is greater than -3, so I want the region above the line. And for the last one, x is less than or equal to 4, so it's the region to the left of the line. And for the second one, I might need to do some rearrangement. 3y is less than or equal to 12 minus 4x. So y is less than or equal to 12 minus 4x over 3. So I need the region below the line. So let's discretely shade the region that we don't want to. So regarding the first line, this one, I need the region below my line. So I'm going to cross out the region above the line. Regarding the second one, again, I want the region below my line. I'm going to cross out the region above the line. Regarding the vertical line, x equals 4. I need the region to the left. So I'm going to cross out the region to the right. And finally, for the line y is equal to -3, I will cross out the region below because I need the region above. So I'm left with this region here, which I will shade. So in question 5, I'll start by noting that 100 students study at least one of these three. So there's no student that doesn't study any of the three. So here in the region outside, I have 0. Then 7 students study all three of them. So I've got a 7 at the center, at the intersection. And 23 students study art and drama. So these two regions are 23, which means that the left one is 16. Then 35 study art and music. So these two regions are equal to 35. So the top one is 28. And 12 study music and drama. Music and drama are these two regions. So I've got a 5 on the right. And then 65 students study art. So the whole set of art is 65. So 65 minus 28, 7 and 16 will give me 14. And similarly, 52 study music. So this whole circle is 52 minus the 3 numbers will give me 12 students studying only music. And then since the total must be 100, if I subtract 100 minus all these numbers, I will get 18, which is the number of students studying drama only. Now for part B, one of the 100 students is selected at random. What's the probability that this student studies drama but not music? Now all these students study drama. 7 and 5 of them study music. The 5 of them only music. The 7 they also study art. So I need to ignore those. So my answer would be 16 plus 18 over 100, which is equal to 34 over 100. I can simplify this one as 17 over 50. Now, for part C, it says that given that the student studies drama, so if the student is studying drama, it means it's one of those 4 regions. So my denominator will be equal to 16 plus 7 plus 5 plus 18, which is 46. So out of those 46 students. How many students also study art? And the answer is the 16 and the 7, and that is my numerator. So 16 plus 7 in the numerator gives me 23, and you can simplify this one as 1 over 2. So in part A, I'll start by writing m equals k, which is the constant of proportionality, over g to the power of 3. The reason it's a fraction is because they are inversely proportional. I'm going to substitute the values. 24 equals k over 2.5 to the power of 3. So k is 24 times 2.5 to the power of 3. Comes out as 375. Now don't forget to write down the formula. M equals 375 over g to the power of 3. And part B, we are given that m is 1 over 9, so let's substitute in the formula. I will cross multiply, so g to the power of 3 is 375 times 9, which comes out to be 3,375. So g is the cube root of this number, and the answer comes out to be exactly 15. Now for part A, I will just substitute 1 into the function. So this one is equal to 3 over 1 minus 2, which comes out to be minus 3. Now for part B, I need to exclude any values that make the denominator equal to 0, and this implies that x equals to 2. And then the last part, to find f of g of 2, I will first need to calculate g of 2, which is 2 plus 4, which is 6. So f of 6 is equal to 3 over 6 minus 2, and the answer will be 3/4. Now, there are many ways to work out question 8t. I prefer the scale factor method. Now, surface area of A times the scale factor squared must be equal to the surface area of B. The reason I have squared is because I have 2 dimensions for area. So 384 times k squared is equal to 864. So k squared is 864 over 384, which is 9 over 4. So k is the square root of this number, which is 3 over 2. So the volume of A times k to the power of 3 now is equal to the volume of B. So the volume of A is the volume of B divided by the scale factor cubed, and this will be equal to 2,457 over 3 over 2 to the power of 3, and the answer comes out to be 728 cm cubed. In question 19, you have 9 graphs and 4 equations, and you need to select which graph goes with which equation. Now, the first one is y equals sine x. The sine graph is graph E. You should be able to recognize this one. So the answer to the first one is E. Now, the second one, it's a straight line with a negative gradient. I have here 2 straight lines. B has a negative gradient. G has a positive gradient, so my answer will be B. Now for the third one, I have a quadratic. The coefficient of x squared is positive, which means I am looking for a graph that is a positive quadratic, and in our case, it's graph D. And the last one is a cubic one. The coefficient of x cubed is positive. So a positive cubic looks like this. And from my list, this is graph A. In question 20, Gemma has 9 counters. Note that 5 of them are odd and 4 of them are even. And she's going to select 2 of them. Since the question doesn't mention a replacement, I will assume that the selection is without any replacement. So what's the probability that both are even? So I want probability even for the first one, even for the second one. So it's 4 evens over 9 times, and then there's going to be 8 left, 3 will be even, and the answer will be 1 over 6. Now for part B, let's make a note first. Adding 2 even or 2 odd numbers will give me a sum that is an even number, while adding an even and an odd number in any order will give me a sum that is odd. In our case, we want the probability that the sum is an odd number, so I want probability the first one is an even and the second one is an odd one, or the first one is odd and the second one is even. Note in probabilities, when you have an or, you translate this one as addition. Now, I have 4 even numbers out of 9, and once I remove an even number, there are 8 numbers left. 5 of them are odd, plus the other combination. There are 9 counters, 5 of them are odd. Once the first one is removed, there are 8 left, 4 of them are even, and when you do this multiplication, you get 5 over 9, which is the required probability. In this question, I'll start by finding this angle here, which I will label x. To do so, I will use the sine rule, which states the following. Note, instead of a and b, I am using n and l. So sine of 47 over 13.8 equals sine of x over 8.5. So sine of x is equal to 8.5 times sine of 47 over 13.8. This will be 0.450 and so on. So x is inverse sine of this number, which will give me an angle of 26.77 and so on. And then to find the area, I will need this angle here, which I labeled y. So y is equal to 180 minus the other 2 angles of the triangle, which comes out to be 106.22 and so on. And then I'm going to use the formula for the area. Note again that instead of A and B, I have N and L, and instead of angle C, I have angle M. So this will be 1 over 2 times 13.8 times 8.5 times sine of the angle I found above. And when you put this on the calculator, the answer comes out to be 56.3 cm squared. Note that whenever I was finding an answer, I was using all digits in the next step to have a more accurate result. In question 22a, I'll need to complete the square. Now let's concentrate on this part only. I have to take out a common factor of 2. So I've got 2x squared minus 4x plus 9. And then this is where the completing the square happens. X squared minus 4x is equal to x minus half of 4, which is 2 squared minus 2 squared. So x minus 2 squared minus 4. So here I have completed the square. So if I go back, I've got 2 times this one plus 9. Now I'm going to expand the square bracket. So 2x minus 2 squared, and be careful here, minus 8 plus 9, which will give me 2x minus 2 squared plus 1, which is my final answer for this part. Now in part B, I need to explain why the graph does not intersect the x-axis. Now note, first of all, there is a minimum because the coefficient of x squared is positive. And to find the coordinates of these minimum points, set the bracket equal to 0, so you get an x value of 2. The important thing is that when the bracket goes away, what you are left with is 1, and 1 is above the x-axis. So the reason I'm gonna write here is that there is a minimum at 2, 1. Now for 23, there's no need to draw the parallelogram. Just note that BC is equivalent to BA and then plus AC. Now BA is the reverse of AB, that's minus 2 minus 3 plus AC, which is given in the question. So this is 7, 1. So to find the magnitude of BC, I will use Pythagoras theorem. That's 7 squared plus 1 squared, and then I'm going to take the square root, and the answer comes out to be the square root of 50, or any other simplified version. Now in question 24, we'll need to rationalize the denominator. We have to show all steps of our calculations. So let's begin. Square root of 12 minus 1 over 2 minus root of 3. And I will multiply this one by another fraction where both top and bottom are the same. This is 2 plus root of 3. So in my denominator now, I have 2 times 2 is 4, plus root of 3 minus root of 3 cancels out, and then minus square root of 3 squared, which is 3. And then in the numerator, I've got 2 root of 12 plus root of 12 times root of 3 root 36 minus 2 minus square root of 3. Now this is equal to square root of 12 is equal to square root of 4 times square root of 3. So this is 2 root 3. And I already have another 2 here. So it's 2 times 2 root 3 plus square root of 36 is 6 minus 2 minus root of 3 all over 1. And this will give me 4 root 3 plus 6 minus 2 minus root 3. No need to write the over 1. And this one simplifies to 4 plus 3 square root of 3 as required. In this question, to find when the particle is at rest, we need to find the value of t when the velocity is equal to 0. Now the velocity is equal to the derivative ds dt, so I will differentiate this expression. So t to the power of 3 becomes 3 t to the power of 2 minus, and then I have 5 times the power, which is 10 t to the power of 1 minus 8t becomes minus 8, and then the plus 3 becomes 0, no need to write it down, and then because it's at rest, this will have to be equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. I will factorize 3t plus 2t minus 4. You can use other methods to solve, like completing the square or the quadratic formula. Now t comes out to be minus 2 over 3 or 4. Since t must be bigger or equal than 0, I will reject the negative and keep the positive value only.